You've just stepped into Whispers of Lust and Shadows, where sinful desires meet eternal darkness. Hit subscribe if you dare to listen till the very end.
Some nights, you feel watched. Even when you're alone, you swear you hear breathing behind your neck. I rented that room because it was cheap. $300 for a week in Central Texas, but from the very first step inside, I knew something was wrong. The owner said, "If you hear running water at night, just ignore it. Don't leave the bed." I thought he was joking. That first night, I couldn't sleep. There were faint moans, like someone was being held back. When I opened my eyes, there was a girl sitting at the edge of the bed. Long wet hair, eyes with no pupils. I blinked. She vanished, but on the bedsheet, the water stain was still there. Room 206 should have never been rented again, but I stayed there for 7 nights. I woke up the next morning, unsure when I had fallen asleep. The light through the curtains was pale and sickly, as if even the sun feared shining into this room. The night before felt like a dream. But the scratch on my neck remained, and the bedsheet bore faint handprints, like someone had lain next to me. I sat up, heart racing. It felt like someone had just pulled their hand away from my chest, as if they'd been lying there a moment ago. In the mirror, I saw myself, but something was off. My eyes, they weren't the same, colder, deeper. As I turned away, I heard a laugh, faint, feminine. I tried to ignore the strange feelings, but as night fell, the silence carried weight, heavy, like something was lurking silently, waiting for the right moment. Around 1 a.m., I jolted awake from a nightmare. My chest ached as if someone had been sitting on it. But what paralyzed me was the woman sitting in the corner chair. Her long hair veiled half her face. Bare feet rested lightly on the floor. Her posture curved, seductively, yet unnaturally still. I couldn't speak. She slowly turned her head, slow, very slow. Her eyes were wide, deep black, and her lips curled in a knowing smile. She stood, walking slowly toward me. She glided, almost. The thin dress clung to a flawless, unreal body. Desire stirred within me, tangled with fear. She leaned close to my ear. A strange scent overwhelmed me, like lavender mixed with dried blood. Then she spoke.
"You are next."
I couldn't tell if I was dreaming, but that hand, cold, slender, was pressing against my chest, light but undeniable. Her dress slid off her shoulder without a touch. Her long hair trailed down my stomach. Every contact felt like static coursing through me. I couldn't move, but I didn't want to. She straddled me, her legs cold yet supple like human-shaped ice. She moved slowly, painfully slow, making me feel every inch of her. But her eyes never left mine. Black, deep, but burning with lust. Lost. I wanted to touch her, but my hands were bound by nothing. She leaned into my neck, whispering, "You want more? Then give me..." Then she kissed me. Software, wet, but the taste of blood spread. I felt something inside me being pulled out. I opened my eyes again, same room, but everything had changed. The walls bled. Something scratched at the ceiling. The air reeked burnt flesh mixed with a woman's perfume. She lay there naked, her back lit by flickering candlelight. Eyes half shut, lips curled, half a smile, half a threat. I walked forward. Feet didn't touch the ground, floating. Each step echoed like a heartbeat. She opened her arms, long black nails like obsidian claws. She said nothing, just pulled me down. Each touch burned my skin, but the more it hurt, the more I craved it. She mounted me, slowly like a demon's dance. Her chest pressed tight, eyes glowing red, mouth dripping blood. But I couldn't stop. She mounted me, slowly like a demon's dance. Her chest pressed tight, eyes glowing red, mouth dripping blood. But I couldn't stop. She moaned, but not like a human. It echoed, stretched, as if hundreds of mouths were moaning inside my skull. Then I realized I was no longer myself. My skin cracked open. Her tongue slid across the tear, and that part of me turned to ash. I collapsed after climax, but this time there was no satisfaction, just a shiver like my soul had been torn from my flesh. I looked down. My body was see-through. I could see my heart beating. Then it stopped. Then she spoke, for the first time.
You're mine now.
I've devoured your soul. Now you belong here, forever, she whispered, echoing like the whole room was moaning. The walls melted. I fell, sucked into a massive mouth surrounded by hundreds of blinking eyes. I woke up naked, lying on a ritual table. Naked women surrounded me, their bodies inked in black. She sat on a throne draped in a blood-red cloak. You will serve me through pleasure and fear, she said. If I resisted, other souls would be torn apart before my eyes. I was no longer myself. Every climax was a sacrifice. She didn't just take my body, she planted something inside my mind. I'd grown numb to the pain of being possessed, but that night, something strange happened. When her hand touched my chest, a white mist rose, and a voice echoed in my mind. Don't let her consume your mind. I saw a figure, a woman, white-haired, eyes glowing blue. She didn't belong here. I've been trapped here longer than you know, but I never knelt, she said, voice like ice. She, the demoness, sensed the new presence. The chamber shook, the walls cracked. You must fight back, not with strength, but with your very desire. Inside me, fire ignited, not hellfire, but the desire to resist. I wanted her to want me, but never have me. Era told me, she controls you because you fear pleasure, but if you make yourself its master. I started to push back. Every time she, the demoness, tried to bind me in illusory flesh, I imagined controlling her instead. You like domination games, I whispered. Let me show you how it feels to be the one pinned down. The demoness stepped back. Her eyes, for the first time, weren't so sure. I heard Era's voice echo, hold that feeling, turn it into her chains. I constructed a space using my own illusion, an ancient stone dungeon, high ceiling, flames burning at each corner, an iron bed at the center bound by cold black chains. I invited her, the demoness, to step in. If you crave control, let me show you what it feels like to be fully claimed. She smiled and nodded. No resistance. I began to bind her hands overhead, pulled her legs apart, her body taut, naked under the firelight. I leaned down, tongue tracing her collarbone, hands sliding lower, but her eyes still smiled, no fear, just performative pleasure. Then, I felt the cold blade graze the back of my neck. A different voice whispered behind me, you think you're in control. She and I were never separate, Era whispered. We are two poles of an ancient soul, born from the very lust of man. We let you believe you were winning, but in truth, your act of dominance was the catalyst for the ritual. I screamed, but both of them placed hands on my chest. pulling out a black smoke called the ego. Men always think they can master lust, but they don't realize the very thing they seek to control is what's been devouring them all along.
Do you think you'd make a different choice than him? Have you ever been haunted by the thing you thought you controlled? Comment below. I'm waiting to hear your story. And if you're not ready to leave these dark gates, follow, because we're going deeper, much deeper.